Everyone, I just want to say something on the Sabbath today. Let's look closely in the Bible what the Bible says about the Sabbath. Okay, if God has ever changed his day of worship, all right. Uh, the Bible tells us in the book of Matthew 24, if you read it from 20, it tells us that pray that your flight be not in winter nor on the Sabbath. And this is the time after the first prophecy. Read that chapter 24. You find that after the first prophets, there will come the true gospel of God. After the true gospel of God, then the great tribulation shall come upon the earth. Then after the great tribulation comes, then what will follow is the coming of Jesus. Okay, so read it carefully and understand this context. So when Christ was saying, let not your flight be in winter nor on the Sabbath. And I just want to concentrate on the Sabbath specifically. So the Sabbath, it just indicates that we should not physically run away from the Sabbath. Okay, you can check it even in the dictionary, what it means to your flight. The flight should not be in winter nor on the Sabbath. So Christ was cementing to his disciples to say, or his followers to say, don't run away physically from the Sabbath, meaning you have to hold on to it all the days of your lives. Okay, why? Because it's a commemoration, as the way Pastor Jennings has put it, to say it's a commemoration. Yes, it's true, and that commemoration has not ended. It's still there as long as this world is still exists. Meaning that commemoration of the Sabbath is still there. We are still reminded. Say there's a Sabbath. Okay, resting on the book of Matthew 11 verse 28, where it says, "Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest." Okay, it's true. As you worship on that day on the Sabbath, you have to be pure, you have to be holy, you should lead a righteous life. Okay, because Christ wants us to rest from our evil deeds. He wants us to have a good character, and a character that will look like him. Okay, we have to be to start changing from glory to glory in his name. All right, so as you are keeping the Sabbath, you have to be holy, pure, without images, without idols. Okay, according to what he was teaching. That is very true, but we cannot run away from that fact that the Sabbath is there today. Okay, the Sabbath is actually there because the Bible in the book of James 2 verse 10, it says, if you break one, you are guilty of breaking them all. If you just break one commandment, you are guilty of breaking them all. Okay, so now the Bible is telling us to say, well, the commandments are a set of 10. There are 10 commandments. That is why the Bible says in the book of Revelation 12 verse 17, it says, the devil or the dragon fights, okay, the children of God, those who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus. They go together. The testimony of Jesus and the commandments of Jesus Christ. All right? And the book of 1 Corinthians 7 verse 18. Okay? The Bible tells us, say, circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing. All right? If you go to 19, it will tell us circumcision is nothing and the uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of God is what matters. So remember, brethren, that the Bible is emphasizing on the commandments of God. We have to be holy. It doesn't mean that I should be holy on the Sabbath, but I should be holy all the days of my lives, because Christianity is a lifestyle. So I don't have to be holy on the Sabbath, but then we have to recognize there's a commemoration, there's a day of worship. When are we supposed to put a pause to our just physical work so that we can worship our God? There's a day of gathering. The Bible says in the book of Hebrews, okay, 10 verse 25, it says, do not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together. So when is the day of assembly? Today, right? Still we'll go back to the Sabbath. We have to recognize that there's a Sabbath day that we should worship God. Together as families, we should come and exhort one another as we are waiting for the day of Christ to come. All right. So let no man deceive you to say there is no that actual commandment. So to pull away the fourth commandment from the 10 commandments, it's more like you are pulling out one, say, thou shalt not commit adultery from the 10. You are pulling it out to say they are commandments. So what Pastor Jennings to me is trying to bring across about the commandments, I'm seeing him to pull out the fourth commandment, from the physical commandment, which is the fourth one, is driving it into the spiritual one. We're not disputing about the spiritual rest that God is giving us. Once you are in Him, He cleanses you from all sins. You become His child. You become cleansed from all the evil burdens of sin. Okay, that is spiritually. That's what will become. But what of the physical? What sign? What's the significance? Does it mean the Sabbath? What does it mean? The Bible says in the book of Ezekiel 22, okay, verse 26, it says, if you read the last line, it will tell us, Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 26, it will tell us, they put no difference between the clean and the unclean, the holy and the profane, all right? So we have to understand what are the clean and the unclean. These were animals, all right? The holy and the profane. Then they said they have taken away their eyes, they have hidden their eyes from the Sabbath. Okay? And today, let us not hide our eyes from the Sabbath, as the prophet Ezekiel has said. But let us recognize, let us not just dwell in the spiritual. Let's not forget that we are in the physical also. All right? What of the physical part? What works should we do? Which day should we recognize to say this is the day of the Lord? All right. So in the physical also, let us be really careful on that one, and let us remember Revelation 22 verse 14. It says, "Blessed are they that do His commandments." All right. So I'm not against the teachings of Pastor Jennings, but on this part, okay, I just wanted to make a correction on the way is coming out. All right. Even Apollos was humble enough. The Bible talks about Apollos in the book of Acts, all right, where he was mighty in scriptures, but he missed certain things of which he was corrected. So if Pastor Jennings also can also come down a little bit on this subject on the Sabbath and on the unclean foods, all right, to just hear nicely one talk with other believers that understand it better, so that it can be corrected just on those points. Otherwise, the rest of these teachings are good and they have to be followed, okay? But let us remember we have to be holy all the days of our lives. But for us to fulfill that righteousness, to be perfect and full, we have to also know that God has given us His Sabbath. The Sabbath will never end. As long as this earth is there, it's a memorial, as He said also. It's a memorial, okay, to remember the day, how He created everything. It's more like an Independence Day. You cannot take it away from the country. The day that which they got independence, all right, in that nation, it will always be there as a memorial. So the Sabbath has to be recognized as a memorial to God's people, all right? So thank you so much, and may God bless you.